Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Joleen's Happy Time Craftcast. I am indeed Joleen, and I am very excited to spend some time with you here on this Wednesday. So, on my last show, I was talking with Suzanne Early, the editor and publisher of Strawberry Moon magazine, and we were talking about pens. And raise your hand if you have ever seen some of those online videos where people do what's in my bag. I'm thinking specifically of Jennifer Gardner did it, and I think she had like 14 packs of almonds in her purse or something. It was kind of like a thing there for a while. And this occurred to me as I was like wandering around my farm. What Jennifer Gardner does for almonds, I do for pens. And so if you're with me live and if you can see me, so this is the bag that I carry around my farm, and it's a Big Raven Farm bag, right? It's absolutely filthy because I like put it on the floor and all of this, but this is what's in my bag. I thought you might get a little kick out of this. So I did not edit or prepare. This is just live, real. What is Joleen like in her real craziness? Well, first I carry around a journal, a book that I made. My friend Hannah says to always have like a little go bag of an embroidery project. So I have that. I have a notebook, kind of dirty, messy. Okay, but now we get into it. So there are 4 rolls of washi tape just rolling around in there. 1 chocolate covered pretzel without any kind of a container. That's lovely. The bottom of my water bottle, which I should probably put on there so it doesn't scratch the furniture. A bookmark made out of a book, of course. All right. And then we get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 writing utensils. I wonder if we're done. 8, 9, 10. I guess I'm always afraid I'm not going to have one, and so I'm throwing them in my bag. Okay, that was 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm not even making this up. This is just like a day in the life. Okay, here's 16, 17. Ooh, I've been looking for this. This is a Stabilo All. This is like one of my all-time favorite tools in my life. Was that 17? 18. 18 pens rolling around in the bottom of my bag. And I have no explanation for this behavior other than I really like a good pen. And I guess when I leave, my desk and I go to the house, I want to make sure that I am not without. I also have a bunch of macrame beads just rolling around in there. And some library Dewey Decimal Index cards. And looks like one more. This is fun. One more chocolate covered pretzel with a macrame bead stuck in it. All right. So keep it classy, Jolene. So anyway, so pens, yeah. So if you were with us last week when we were talking about pens, Suzanne put together this amazing downloadable PDF where she kind of reviews and talks about pens and the things that they do and if they activate with water, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you didn't get that download, it is in our show notes from last week's show with Suzanne Early. But yeah, that's my follow-up to pens. I think I have a little bit of a pen problem, and I would absolutely love to hear if you have one too, because I don't really want to be alone in this. So let me know. All right. So enough about that. Today's guest. I can't wait to talk to Charlie because what we're going to be talking about today is something very near to my heart, and that is book making, book binding, working with paper, like some of my favorite things. So Charlie Andrés is a gender fluid, queer, neurodivergent Colombian adoptee making handmade journals, letterpress prints, zines, and artist books as Charliehorse Press in Minneapolis. Their work blends identity, play, and storytelling through book arts. Charlie also teaches zine making and bookbinding and sells prints at shows with musician Jeremy Messersmith. So to reactivate, like if you know you've heard of Jeremy, the song that's probably most popular is Everyone Gets a Kitten. And once it gets stuck in your head, you'll be singing it all day. But anyway, let's talk more with Charlie. Here she is. I know you'll do a great job welcoming them to the Happy Time Craftcast. Hi, Charlie.
Hello, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so
I'm
much for
so glad
having
to have
me.
you here. I'm so glad. So you and I have a lot in common with our love for book binding and book making.
Absolutely.
So can you tell, like when people say, what do you mean you make books? What do you
Yeah.
say?
I say a lot of different things. I feel like the way that I approach bookmaking tends to be from a more journaling aspect.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I love making blank books, little journals and things. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if I have anything that I can pull out here.
And when you make them, Charlie, are
Yeah.
you doing like what kind of binding are we talking about? Like Coptic stitch, like traveler's notebook? Like what's your favorite?
Coptic stitch is my go-to, my ride or
Yeah.
die. I'm currently wrestling with, I have a spiral binder that I just do not understand how to use by
Ah,
We Are Memory Keepers. So I'm
yes.
finagling that currently. But I did just take an intro to bookbinding class just to get a kind of
Yeah.
refresher with India Johnson, who's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we made some like hardcover sweet little
Ooh,
books here.
look
We
at
made,
that. So for those of
right?
you listening, it's like the real deal. Like they have
That
made
is
like
a
it's even
book.
got the hammer stitch on the binding, right? To
Yeah.
get that little, what is that called officially? Like that
I
did,
truly do not know. I want to call it like a dimple
yeah.
or something.
The dimple on the edge. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So
So
like a
cloth
little,
covered cloth hardcover books. Love it. Mhm.
yeah, fancy. And then I've got like a case bound book that
Oh,
has tapes on it. And then this is cave paper, which is homemade, meaning this does not tear at all, which
wow.
blows my mind. Very
So
cool.
did you say cave paper?
Yeah, that's the name of the company that makes it. And
Oh my
the I
gosh.
think one or both of the co-founders live here in Minneapolis, Bridget O'Malley and Amanda DeGener, and they recently sold it, unfortunately, to someone in Arizona, I want to say.
But it's CAVE. I mean,
Yeah.
Charlie, honestly, whenever I see something in the book arts crafty space that I don't know about, I'm like, wait. What are we talking about? Paper that doesn't tear called cave paper. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. And did you use it as a cover?
I did, yeah. So this is, I think it has something, some kind of animal, it
Mm.
might be skin, something.
Ooh.
So it's very durable and very
Yeah,
intense.
yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
So do you teach people how to do the Coptic stitch? Because I know that it can be very polarizing if people like are able to kind of go through with it. Like it can be really frustrating. So like what's your experience been in teaching folks the Coptic stitch?
Definitely. I have only tried to teach people Coptic stitch a handful of times.
Yeah.
And usually I feel like I do that best one-on-one. So I
Yeah.
can really sit next to them and kind of
Mhm,
direct them while we do it.
mhm.
But most of my bookbinding kind of classes and things that I teach are pretty introductory and a lot
Sure.
less complicated than that. I
Well, we all
love
got to start
doing,
somewhere,
yeah,
like
exactly.
so I'm kind of particular to travelers notebooks.
Those
Um,
are
and
great.
so I teach folks to do that a lot. Just because when you do like the traveler's notebook binding, like I usually use the elastic, so the horizontal on the
Yeah,
outside, the vertical on the inside, and then you can change out your signatures. And then
great.
of course
Yeah.
I love reusing old covers, in
Yeah.
new ways. So for you right now, like what is your favorite, medium or project or technique? Like what are you really excited about right now?
Ooh, what I'm excited about right now is not actually specifically bookbinding.
Okay.
I am loving risograph printing, which is it's repurposing this old kind of it's kind of like an inkjet printer from the 80s, that I think teachers and offices would use. And I don't know if the ink is currently all vegetable based. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
make like vegetable inks with it now, which is cool, but it's this kind of ink that doesn't dry. I think it's oil based.
What?
I don't have any of my own designs, but one of my
Charlie,
very
can you say
favorite,
that first word again? It's what kind of printing?
Riso, Riso, Risograph
Riso.
Printing. This is one of my very favorite artists. This is by Bromstad Printing,
Wow.
Bromstad.
Is that a cat?
It is,
Oh
and
my gosh, I love it.
right. And my very favorite thing about risograph printing is the texture that you get on it. Is
Okay.
this like stippliness?
Risograph. This is
Yeah,
another one I've not heard of. I can't wait to dig more into that.
yeah, and it's so much more instantly gratifying than
Right,
letterpress
right,
can be.
right.
My background and my kind of roots are in letterpress printing, which is a very finagly kind of.
Well, you told me in your prep for today that letterpress printing can be a little nitpicky.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so say more about that. Is it like alignment? Is it registration? Is it making sure that you don't get any bleed or blur? Like why do you suppose it isn't just a little bit more woo and fun?
I think it's all of the above.
Okay,
And it's also, it depends on the kind of letterpress that you're doing. There
okay,
are ways to make it easier on yourself. You can
right.
print, what are they called? Photopolymer plates. And
Yes.
it's very easy to get the registration
Mhm,
marks done
mhm,
such
mhm.
a way. But thinking about, this is one of the prints that I did for Jeremy. This is his
Oh.
song Fast Times in Minnesota. And this is the full lyrics to the song.
Okay,
This
so
took
wait, 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 wait,
me,
wait, wait. We have to help people understand. Okay, so what we are looking at or what we are describing is you did this. So you didn't sit down at a computer. You didn't go to open up a Google Doc. You set each one of these letters individually on a tray, right? And then put it through a press.
yes. So
And
again, thinking about the nitpickiness, this took me maybe 13 hours. This was my very first long form project, so maybe it would take
wow.
me less time now. But thinking about the spacing between the letters and the
Yeah.
words, towards the bottom, I ran out of the O's and the A's and the font that I was
Right,
using.
right, 'cause you have to set them down all at one time, so you have to have enough letters to get through. So what we're describing is a lyric sheet, and it is probably what, 11 by 17? It's pretty
Something,
big.
yeah.
Wow, and so it took 13 hours to set it up, and then once it's set it up, you run your prints, but then you have to do you remove the letters?
Then you have to put it all back,
Oh
and
my
that's a
gosh, so if you
pain.
wanna make more, you gotta start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this was
What did Jeremy say?
he was super pleased, and I don't
Yeah,
know, he's just been a really great. All of the prints that I've done for him have been pretty experimental in my own sense of not experimental in the sense of letterpress in general, but
sure.
yeah, old time printing.
Yep.
But in the sense of like, again, this was my very first long form print.
Wow.
I made a zine of one of his lyrics, and that was my first zine that I had ever
Yeah,
letterpress printed. So I've just been using his lyrics and his um, iconography for ways to kind of navigate through
right.
letterpress and have something to print.
So,
So that's
do
been really
you
wonderful.
so in your description of, like, the things that you try,
Yeah.
and kind of where you are in the way that you teach and help
Mhm.
guide people, you said something again in our prep for today that you believe that art can be the intersection of play and vulnerability. I
Yeah.
love that. I think we should put that on a t-shirt, or a letterpress poster or something.
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit more about kind of like your philosophy about, because what I'm hearing you say today is that you really like embrace and explore opportunities for like figuring it out, you know,
Definitely.
and just exploring. Or I think some of us get pretty tight in our outcome, right? Like we feel like we're wasting time if we're not successful en route to the outcome. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely. I think something that I see specifically in the book arts kind of
Mhm.
realm of both printmaking and bookmaking is these people that are very traditional and
Yes.
very rigid along those lines and like to kind of follow those rules
Mhm.
and make these very beautiful, very like gorgeous, sustainable books that are
Perfect.
going to last for
Probably.
100
Yeah.
years. And those are wonderful and they have their place. And um, I like to queer that a little bit and I like to have more fun with
Sure.
letterpress and with my art in general. So this is a print, it says girl dinner, um, which is, if you're not familiar, girl dinner is kind of like charcuterie. The idea is that you're having like an assemblage of snacks and
Right. Right.
tiny little foods, maybe
Yeah.
a bite of that and a sip of that
Yes. Yes.
as a meal.
Yes.
So
You're speaking my language. Yes.
exactly, I love girl dinner. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. So I feel like my approach to, again, book arts and
Yeah.
things is, what if we didn't take ourselves so seriously?
Oh my gosh. Right.
But there are so many, working at the Minnesota Center for Book Arts, especially, I handle these like very beautiful, very
Mm.
expensive $400,000 books about
Mhm.
trees. They
Yeah.
are very often about trees
Mhm.
and lakes and forests. And again,
Right.
I think those really have a place and are really cherished by especially the collecting world that
Yeah.
buys
Right.
these books for a lot of money. But I see it as an opportunity to take things so much less seriously.
Right. Right.
um, and thinking about, I have kind of throughout my journey of printmaking, I've made a lot of prints focusing on phrases and things that I feel like are kind of um, fleeting almost.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
so like this is definitely something that's girl dinner is something that circulates around social media
Yeah.
and eventually it's not going to be as big of a
Right.
thing as it once was, but it will always be a print. It will
Right.
always be kind of immortalized in this format.
I think we need to like, let's spend a little bit of time here on like the playfulness. Cause I do think that, you know, I'm so lucky in my work. I get to spend a lot of time with artists and crafters. And in fact, I've got, you know, 14 of them coming to a retreat that starts tomorrow. It's called Pick Your Projects.
It
And
sounds amazing.
it is really amazing. And so they pick from a list of, you know, my projects. And then over the course of the, you know, 4 days and 3 nights, you know, we get through as many as we can. But I'll tell you what, I have a hard time sometimes, and some of them are here right now and they know I'm talking to them. I have a hard time getting them to even like leave the work table to maybe like come and do a little yoga, just like stretch out your shoulders, take a breath or two. Like they are productive, they are nose down. And I mean, I get it, right? Like busy lives, and you don't always have the time that where you don't have other distractions or disruptions. And when you come to Big Raven Farm, like we're going to take care of you, we're going to feed you, you're going to sleep, you know, in your beautiful, comfy bed, and it's going to be great. And then all the other time is dedicated to making something. And it's so fun and so exciting. But some of them get really frustrated with how long it takes to make something. And I think that in a way, social media has done us a little bit of a disservice with our ability to speed things up.
Definitely.
Because like when I coil, you know, 100 paper tubes to make hair from, you know, pages of magazine, like it doesn't take the 90 seconds that they see. It can take hours. And so I love this idea and your language about like the intersection of play, and also I think vulnerable too, in a way where we're letting go of expectation and enjoying the process just a little bit more, and not feeling like we're on an assembly line, right? Like, let's just, enjoy working with our hands. Now, Charlie, I say this, but I too get frustrated with how long it takes sometimes. But I think that's like the challenge and like the
Definitely.
constant reminder, right? Like, let's remember that we're making art. Like, this is fun. Like, this is like the best way to spend time, I think.
Definitely. And I think that's something that I've had to learn and teach myself over and over again.
Yes.
I did my very first artist residency at the Grand in New Ulm this February, and that was phenomenal. I
Wow.
spent 3 weeks there working on this artist book that I've been working on,
Yeah.
and I came in with that same mindset of coming in and wanting to just lock in and get as much done as possible. And I forgot that I was also taking 3 weeks off of work, and that realistically my body cannot be a machine and cannot
Right.
that
Right.
level of production all day, every day, especially for 3 weeks.
Yep.
And the project that I was working on was very grief centric. So it was
Oh.
also, I would tell people about this residency afterwards, and they were asking, how was it? It sounds like it was so much fun, so rewarding, just really amazing. And I said, it really was. And it was
And
exhausting.
yes.
I was taking the time off of my day jobs, but I was still working.
Right.
That was
Right.
work that I was doing, the grief work that I was doing, and then the physical labor of this
Absolutely.
was a letterpress residency, so I was churning the thing. And
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So have you ever been to I'm sorry, this might be like a very regional question. So for those of you in the greater world, forgive Charlie and I for a minute as we talk about a Minnesota thing. But Charlie, have you ever been to the Fine Arts Building at the Minnesota State Fair?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a reminder set for myself to submit one of my pieces for the Fine Arts Building at the State Fair. And I know people can either sell them there or just display them. But something that's kind of been on my, I don't know if it's a wish list or like I don't know, something I've been thinking about, is they do have artists in residence there working on projects. And there's a part of me that thinks that could be really cool to be in the middle of a build, because I'm more of a builder. Be in the middle of a build or an assembly, and like, be around all those people and all of that energy. But as you say, like, it can be quite, taxing. I have no information. Like, I don't know how long they all stay there. Like, I don't know anything about it. But have you ever considered doing a Minnesota State Fair Fine Arts thing?
Actually, not really. I wrote it
Seed,
down, so I'm
seed
gonna
planted.
seed planted. I'm gonna look into that for sure.
Well, I know
Um,
there was a lot on social media about the Minnesota State Fair and food.
yeah.
But friends, that's just one of the amazing things. I love the Fine Arts Building so much. It's where I go first, and I probably go like 2 or 3 times. It's so fascinating to see everyone's remarkable creativity, and I love it. I love it.
It's so inspiring.
Isn't it? I know, I know. And I have to like make sure that I like keep my schedule open. Because I think this year we're probably like hosting retreats all through the state fair, so I can't even
That
go.
makes
Maybe,
sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta I gotta look at the calendar. But anyway, that's been on my list. So okay, I have another question for you though, and that is about okay, so book arts. A
Mhm.
little nitpicky in its reputation, a little bit finicky and tricky. So, what do you say to beginners? Like, what do you say, like, I think even for me, like, I kind of shied away from bookbinding for a while because I was like, oh, that just looks so hard. But then once I dabbled, I love it. I love myself a Coptic stitch. I love the whole process. But do you ever find yourself having to persuade beginners?
I think yes and no. I think the biggest thing is highlighting the things that you can do with a book.
Yeah.
Um, I think the hardest part is once somebody makes it, they put it away because it's either too pretty to touch
I was
or
going to say, I know
we're
what you're
not
going to say,
interested.
that we're not going to write in it. We don't want to ruin it. Like, we just want to keep it all pretty. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So just highlighting that you can normalize using the things that you make. Normalize.
Right.
I have friends with this problem with stickers too. Like you
Oh,
purchase a very
sure.
nice sticker and you're afraid to put it on the things.
Yes, yes.
Use life is short. Use the sticker.
Right. Like use the dishes, use the good dishes,
Yeah.
use the book. But oh my gosh, Charlie, I know exactly what you're talking about because I have journals upon journals upon journals that they're empty because I don't want to
Too.
ruin them. I don't know
Too.
if you're here with us live and in the comments, does anybody have like a diagnosis as to why we do this? Like, why do we I mean, I don't understand. I do it myself. It's
It's a
very
commitment thing too.
right.
But yeah, I think that's another part of engaging play with vulnerability and
Mhm.
things is just being willing to mess things up
Right,
and know that it's not going to be perfect the first time or the
right,
fifth time. And again, I think my approach is very kind of antithetical to this kind of main narrative of bookbinding specifically as a tool of conservation and with this ultimate goal of conservation and wanting to keep things steady and
right,
intact for 100 years.
right.
I don't know where I'm going to be in 100 years. I don't think I care where my book is in 100 years.
Right.
And I want to use it because it's pretty.
I love that. I love that. It's like we need to, and I'm speaking to myself. Like I get so,
Me
like,
too. Yeah.
how like as an artist, sometimes I think people make assumptions about like, okay, so I will use I statements. I am very nice and I am pretty easygoing with everyone but myself. Right? So like I can be pretty fastidious and structured when it comes to like the things that I do, right?
Mhm.
Whereas with everyone else, I'm like, just give it a
Exactly.
whirl and give it a try. But for like my own, I find that like I'm inspired by this conversation, Charlie, because I need to play more. And like when I'm playing, I also have like I love the discovery of like the new like some techniques that I've been working on, and I want you to answer this question too, like what are you working on right now? So I have been working on, we have a gift shop here at the farm, and people ask all the time if they can buy my art, and the answer is almost always no because I'm trying to finish my bed and breakfast with my art. And it's like if I sold it, I just have to make it again, and I just don't have the time to make it again. But
Oh,
I
I
can
see what you're
teach you
saying.
how to make it, right? But I can't like sell you the one that I made. So I've been working on coming up with some little like grab and goes. And so this is one of them. So if you are listening
Cute.
or watching, so what you're looking at is you're looking at a heart that has been laser cut and then reassembled, and it's made out of book covers.
That is so cool.
Thank you. So I go to the dump and I jump in and I get out all of these books that have been disposed, and I take the covers, I recycle the pages, and I have figured out kind of a neater process. I was trimming by hand, and that was kind of like making a mess and not giving me great edges. And so now I'm cutting with a laser, so it makes things a whole lot easier. So I have them assembled. And then I also have them in this little kit. So like if you get the little kit, you get all of the cut pieces and the directions, and then you can make it yourself. And
That's
so I
awesome.
think as like an artist entrepreneur, I'm learning that I get kind of excited too about coming up with kind of like some of these grab and goes. Another one that I've been working on is this. I'll give you a, can you tell what you're looking at?
I don't think so. No.
So it's called the Organize Your Slurry set. So in my work, I use a lot of gesso, matte medium, Mod Podge, and of course my own homemade brew. And I usually keep them in mason jars. And so this is a mason jar lid so it's a
Oh,
book,
cute.
but it's a
Yeah.
book. So again, I know, right? I know, Charlie, you
So
should see your face. So it's a book that I cut into a circle and then I engraved the name on top. So when you're looking at all of your slurries, they are now color coded and made from books. So
that's awesome.
So I did that. And then I did one other thing, which isn't as exciting, but I do a lot of using collage and other collage fodder. And I don't know if you do this, but I love using napkins, especially when you get all the way down. Have you ever done that?
Napkin?
Yes. Okay. So take a fancy napkin and rip away all of the ply until you just get down to the one ply.
Okay.
And then using matte medium or Mod Podge or homemade brew, whatever adhesive, wet adhesive, you are then going to, collage with adhesive on the bottom and then the napkin and then adhesive on the top, and they become a transparent layer. So I put together a pack of like 20 different fancy napkins so that you don't have to go out and buy 20 packs of napkins. I did that for us because I'm insane. And then if you wanted to use like this bird bath or these flowers in your collage, you just take a clean, wet paintbrush and you paint on the napkin and then it comes apart as a fiber.
That's excellent.
And then you can use it as a layer. So I did not know this about myself. Like I didn't know that I would get so excited in coming up with like these things. And I guess, I mean, I've never had a gift shop before owning, so maybe that's why. But I do love, like, I'm loving the process of thinking of it, packaging it. Like I kind of like all of that kind of, assembly. So that's what I'm excited about. What are you excited about right now?
Sure. I am. So I just finished my artist book.
Yes.
And now I'm in this weird space where after you finish a really big project, you're like, oh my God, what?
Right.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
So I'm tinkering with a lot of things. I'm maybe getting into greeting card making.
Nice.
And things with specifically, again, Riso printing greeting cards and things.
I've got to find this Riso printing. I'm inspired. I don't know what it is, but I want to do it.
It's really excellent. If you're ever if you ever come down to the Twin Cities, the workshop for independent publishing, which is again also by India Johnson, who I'm a huge fan of, is an independent community-led space print shop type thing that has Riso printers and teaches classes and workshops. Excellent. So I've been tinkering with that a little bit. I've been applying to grants and residencies and things, hoping to continue this work on my artist book. But I'm just kind of floating around.
Well, and you told me earlier too that like you also teach one-on-one, because sometimes some of these techniques, they're a little bit more like you can get what you can get from a YouTube video, but sometimes you need a gentle guide and leader. So I will link it in our show notes. But Charlie, how can people find you, your work? How can they interact with you? And also your book. Is your book for sale?
It is for sale. All of my information right now is on my Instagram, which is Charliehorse Press.
Which is such a great name, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm Charlie. Horses are silly and fun.
Yeah.
And I found it's called like an ornament, like a little letterpress picture engraving thing of a very silly looking horse back in 2023. And I said, boom, that's me.
It.
So that's it.
Love it. Well, and your book. So I know that you just finished it, but can you tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Sure. So it is an artist book, and it's meant to be sort of this archive sort of thing. I can show more pictures of it if that's helpful, but it's essentially this file folder full of little fragments and pieces of, some of them are letterpress prints, some are risograph prints, some are screen prints. I think I've got some relief prints in there too. And it's just this like amalgamation of reflections on coming coming home to myself almost,
Yeah.
coming to understand my identity as an adoptee and navigating this relationship with my culture and trying to find my birth mother, reuniting with my birth mother and navigating that relationship. So it's just this kind of cluster of little morsels and things, and I just want to keep adding to it, but yeah, that's the kind of gist of it there.
Yeah. So it's you said an adoption tale or part, or is that part of it?
Yeah, so it's meant to, the form itself is a file folder. So it's
Cool.
meant to look like an adoption file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to petition access for it, but in 2017, 2018, I petitioned access to my adoption file. And it was this 150 pages of
Right.
court documents, medical records, letters from the orphanage, letters of recommendation, all of these different things.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's something that I still am digesting. It's been almost 10 years at this point, and there is so much information there, and there's also very little information. A lot of it is handwritten, a lot of it is written on a typewriter, probably. A lot of it is in Spanish, so there's just a lot to digest. It's a very
Yeah.
dense material, but as I'm kind of working with that and again coming to process that with my identity and looking for my birth family, I just have these little art pieces and things that came out of it.
That's so cool. I
Thank
love
you.
that so much. And I will make sure that we like link and let people know where they can find it. Um,
Absolutely.
so can you also maybe say a little bit about so so the Minnesota Center for the Book Arts, um,
Mhm.
you work there?
I do.
Okay. So not that we're gonna like plug your employer, but or anything, but
That's
they're
okay
very cool. They're
too.
so cool.
Definitely
And
love them.
so they teach in-person classes, but they also have an online component.
They do.
So you don't have to be in Minnesota. And I actually have taken several classes there and I love it. And I love the people. I just think it's amazing. And it was a while ago. They asked me to teach a class and I have it on the list, but you've inspired me to reach back out to that person and
Definitely. Please
see if
do.
I can't get that to happen because just what a great community. So can you just tell us a little bit about the Minnesota Center for Book Arts?
Yeah, I'll give you the kind of spiel. I
Yes.
work in the gift shop there, so I'm good at the spiel.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota
I
Center for
bet.
the Book Arts is a studio space and a gallery
Mhm.
space for book arts, which the things that fall under that category, at least that we focus on there, letterpress printing, screen printing, paper marbling, paper making, bookbinding. I'm definitely forgetting something, but those are kind of the general things. So we have, I think it might be the largest type library of letterpress type, so
So
letters and
cool.
things.
Mhm.
In our basement there, we have a whole bunch of different presses down there as well. And then again, we do paper making and things. And just the community there is really
Oh, just the
phenomenal.
best.
Yeah.
My best friend Lisa is a writer.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, to my other best friends listening, but one of my best friends, Lisa, she's a writer, and she does a ton of stuff over at Open Book.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like she goes Open Book, I go Book Arts,
Support.
and then we like meet up in the cafe to like reconnect. But I like when you think about a studio space. I love the studio space there, like exposed brick, big
It's
tables.
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's inspiring. It's such a fun place to be and work. I just love it. I've done screen printing, paper folding, marbling, and one more. Darren and I did a date night for Valentine's Day one year, and we had to like draw each other.
Oh, sweet.
Horrifying. It's just not where our skill set is at
Fair.
all. But but it was still really, really fun. And I looked today, and today's class, it's an online class. I don't know if it's in person too, but it's today, and it's transfer with gelatin plates.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for people in my world, jelly plate printing, but they are going to use image transfer. And it looks like the image transfer is coming probably from books, and maybe not always magazines, which I know people in my world, we're always looking for high gloss to get a really good transfer, but maybe there's some other techniques that we can learn from the Minnesota Center for Book Arts. So anyway, I'll be sure to link them in our show notes too.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Okay. So we know where to find you. We know about your book. We know about your project and your ideology about the intersection of play and vulnerability, and that maybe we all could explore just a little bit more, which I think is so lovely and inspiring.
Yeah.
And we're already to that point in the show where I'm going to ask you some questions that are the same that I ask everybody. And I always say that they're easy, but then sometimes they end up being kind of hard. So let me just say that this is playful and fun. And
Sounds
you
good.
can give one-word answers or you can elaborate, but here's the first one. So Charlie, what is your favorite word?
It really depends on the day, and it depends on the thing. Right now, I think it's finagle.
I
That's
love
just something
finagle.
that's really in my vocabulary right
You
now.
also said earlier, help me, did you say amalgamation?
I think so, yeah. Which I don't know if I used it right.
Who cares? I love it.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I love it so much. I agree with you. I think that like my favorite words kind of jump around and it just kind of depends. But my favorite word right now, today on June 18th, is probably going to have to be, oh, I know what it is. It's sleep. It's sleep. Because it's a really busy time for us and I'm just a little bit under the number that one should have to be a functioning adult. And so I just am kind of fantasizing about, the air conditioner is on and our room is really cold, but I'm snuggling, so I'm going to go sleep. Not that I don't love this time of year, but woo, I'm tired.
Okay.
Do you have a least favorite word?
Oh. Mostly slurs are coming to mind.
Right. Yeah, we agree. I don't like those either.
Right?
Are there some words that you don't like the sound of? Like there are some where I'm just like, I don't like the sound of that word.
I don't know if I like smorgasbord. Just like the mouth feel of it is not my favorite.
Awesome.
It's also in my vocabulary though.
It is.
So that does come up.
It's a little clunky. I have problems with, this is so dumb. I mean, I have a master's degree and I swear to God, I do not know how to spell lose or loose. Like every time, it doesn't matter how many tricks you give me. It doesn't matter. I have to say, hey Siri, how do you spell lose? Every single time. Whenever I'm like writing or typing, like I'll use a different word because I don't know. And you can tell me the little trick to remember. I won't. I won't.
Totally get that.
Right now, I hate those words because I don't know how to spell them. I can't believe I just told the world that. That's so embarrassing. Anyway. Okay, so let's head over to the smorgasbord and tell me, what is the best kind of sandwich? This is very serious and very important. For those of you here live, I want to see yours in the comments too. I also think I might be hungry, but go ahead. What's your best kind of sandwich?
I think it's going to be sandwich time after this, actually.
Right?
That sounds great.
Doesn't it?
When I was like 6 years old and I went to Subway for the very first time, and I was very excited at the concept
of the counter
creating one's own sandwich. Ham, cheese, and pickles was the decision, and so that's my ride or die is ham, cheese, and pickles, straight up.
I'm with you on that because I'm kind of late to pickles. It wasn't until I was like, oh wait, that whole fire acid heat thing,
There's a resurgence happening with pickles right now.
Exactly.
We're in a pickle renaissance.
We are in a pickle renaissance. And Darren, the chef, husband chef, he makes pickled onions a lot. And red ones, and it changes everything. It like makes
Ooh.
everything better. So I'm with you on this whole acid thing. Like I love that in a sandwich. So I see your, was it ham cheese pickle? And I raise you ham cheese pickle with a nice layer of potato chips on it. And then you smush it.
Crunchy.
Right? The texture, the salty, the crunchy, the acid. Now that sounds like a really good sandwich.
Delightful.
Oh, the things I look forward to. Okay, here's your next one. Now, you might not think, but if you think there is a scary animal, which animal is like the scariest? Because some people aren't afraid of animals, but like, what do you think?
Oh, I get that. I'm I'm not scared of any animals, but I think it's kind of like a car crash where like I just like can't look away, but I'm also
Right?
it's very foreign but I'm very intrigued.
Yes.
I have a friend who raises tarantulas,
Okay.
and I don't think I could ever hold one.
Right.
But from afar, when they are in a cage, I'm like,
Safe distance.
what are you about? What are you doing? I don't hate you, but I want to understand you. Let's figure out our differences here. So I think tarantula is a big one. And then very large dogs also fall into that category. Is it a Great Dane that's
Yes.
massive?
Yeah,
I don't understand what's happening there, but I do. I want to. You know?
that is like this, just the sweetest, most gentle way, to describe it. So I'm not afraid of like spiders or things. I mean, I don't want them crawling on me, but like,
Exactly.
I'm not like afraid. But my son, my son Jack, so he is the funniest person I know. He's 27, and he had a centipede, like, I don't know, run across his foot or something.
Sure.
And Charlie, he screamed like he was being like
I would
mutilated.
too.
Like it was a scream that like made my blood run cold. And I, of course, went running, and I was like, oh, and I was all freaked out. And
Are you safe?
yeah, are you safe? Right. And then his first words out of his mouth were, I could have died. Like,
Maybe. Probably not.
I didn't have the context of it being a centipede. And I'm still like, death by what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm not even kidding you. I could have totally just died right now. And again, I still don't know. And then finally he tells me it was a centipede. And so now, of course, it's this family joke that, if you see a centipede, it's like, hey,
I could have died.
You could die by a centipede. So be very, very careful. So that's my one child. But for as far as scary animals, I actually have a new answer for this because so our chickens, right? I talk about our chickens, and our chickens are like really a big part of like the community here at Big Raven Farm.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Eat them. They're like family. And thank you for the eggs, ladies. But we had a raccoon a few weeks ago steal into the chicken coop and take one of our hens. Like he grabbed her. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, by like her rump and just and drug her away.
Wow.
And I heard it from our bedroom, and he went running. He interrupted the abduction, like it stopped. But then he came back like a couple nights later, and he got back into the coop, and then he really got one for sure. Like we didn't interrupt. And I think that I have seen too many raccoon domesticated videos where I'm like, oh, they're so cute, and they're so and they're so sweet, and like you let them do your thing, and like everybody is fine and living in Snow White's forest. But now I'm kind of freaked out by the raccoon taking two of my chickens and like having them for dinner. And
that is so intense,
right? And I wasn't expecting that kind of behavior. Like I have different kinds of raccoons. Like I have the nice ones.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm a little disturbed by this recent batch of behavior. Usually
understandably.
Thank you. Usually they just come into the chicken coop to get the feed. Or maybe an egg, right? But not a chicken. And then my friend Paige was telling me that she did a little bit of research, and once a raccoon gets a taste of chicken, he's gonna keep coming back until he gets all my chickens. So that's a scary animal. That is indeed a
Dang.
scary animal who wants to eat my chickens.
They're about the same size too. So to think
Right?
of a
I know.
thinking
And they
that,
come at
oh
night.
gosh,
And so
yeah,
like at night, all of our chickens are roosting. And so it's
yeah.
not like they're in like, fight mode. They're just
And
kind
you're
of like,
not watching them.
right. They're
Yeah.
just chill. Thank goodness for our rooster, Bert. Bert has a lot to say. I don't get to
Good.
name them because I don't really take care of them. So Darren gets to name them, and he has named, Bert, who's Bert. But anyway, yeah. So now I'm a little bit afraid. Zane says that happened to one of their chickens, and they forgot. Yeah, Zane, that's what happened here too. Like the yeah, we forgot to close a little
Yikes.
side hatch, and yeah,
Mhm.
we have to be very careful. Oh, and look at what Butter says. Attacked chickens in Arizona. We've had to add coverings inside the chain link so they can't reach in. Ah, see, I'm justified. I got to stop watching those cute little domesticated raccoon videos. I've been getting like a false narrative.
Yes, exactly. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness. Okay, justified. Absolutely justified. Okay.
Seriously.
So let's come back to, here's one. What about this one? Is there a sound or a noise that you love?
I don't know where it is. Those little, oh my gosh, what game is that? Um, 5 second, 5 seconds or something.
Okay.
Has one of those little things that goes meow.
Like a dropping sound?
Yeah.
Oh, I
The,
love that.
you know what I'm talking about?
I
The little
do.
sticks? Yeah. Okay.
I do. So you can, it sounds like dropping, right? Like it's up here. That's like that.
Yeah.
Love that. Love
Excellent.
that. Let's see, what sound or noise do I love? Well, I can tell you what I don't love. Um, so okay, the farm, right?
Hmm.
Like the morning birds, like you would think that I might be like, oh, what a lovely morning. They're noisy. They are so loud and they're so noisy that I'm just like, what is happening in this cornucopia of noise? There must be like 15 different varieties like right outside our bedroom window. And I've
Gosh.
been, what's the word? Curmudgeon?
Yeah.
I've been
That's a good word too.
I've been
Cornucopia,
crabby about all
curmudgeon.
those bird noises. It's like get off my lawn kind of energy. Like I feel bad about it. But yeah, look at that's even my next question. What sound or noise do you hate? I beat us to it. The birds have been driving me nuts, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Do you have one of these?
Sounds that I hate.
Mhm.
Ooh, the vacuum is always too loud. Yeah.
Interesting. My dog is a healer, so he's a cattle dog. So he
Mhm.
believes that he needs to be in some kind of battle
Of
with
course.
a vacuum, a broom, wheels, any of those things. He's got to
Of
like round
course.
them up or discipline them in some kind of way. So okay, well here's a serious one, Charlie. So I know in your life you are able to say, "Hi, my name is Charlie, and I'm an artist."
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you?
Um, Within my own practice and life and things, I think being an artist is dedicating time to it
Mhm.
over and over and over again. There is this Audrey, I think it's Audre Lorde,
Mm.
has a quote that's oh, have the courage to trust love one more time and always one more time, and
Wait, say it one more time. Have the
have the
courage.
have the courage or have enough courage to trust love one more time and always one more time, which I adore.
I
Um,
adore it now too. Thank you.
yeah. And I think about that with a lot of things that I do and the things that I approach. Um, and I think art and craft specifically are really applicable to that. Um, I don't know, sometimes you love the craft a little bit less and you try something new and you fall in love with it again. But it's something that I've always been able to come back to. And it's
Mm.
this sense of home for me, and it's this sense of belonging and community and self expression. And it doesn't always look the same. Recently, it's been making a lot of really silly little zines and things on silly little things. And before that, it was this huge book project that I was working on. So just letting it be this very fluid but very ever-present thing in my life that shows up kind of however it wants to show up, and not pressuring it to be anything specific, but knowing that is something that I value and that I want to be in my life.
Oh, Charlie, I am not usually speechless, and I feel a little bit speechless because no, I mean that's beautiful, and having the courage to love one more time, right, and then one more time, like whatever that like exactly was. I love that so much, and I think it is so applicable. And I've said it before on my show, and that is that like of all the hats that I wear. I think my artist hat maybe fits me the best, or I'm the most comfortable in it. And I feel like my expression as an artist, like, comes through all of my work, as a parent, as a partner, as a business
Definitely.
owner. Like, it's all kind of a part. But when I get really super duper fired up, oh my God, my Minnesota accent came out right there. Did you hear it? Woo! I had a big Marge moment. Super duper. Is when I am able to build, make, create, assemble, figure out. Like, I love the puzzle part of my life as an artist, and I find it so fulfilling and so rewarding. And when the folks come to the pick your projects, I'm running like crazy, getting to everyone, but boy, do I love it. I love how they love it. I love the energy. I just love the whole vibe and the whole nature of it. It's wonderful. And also blessings on blessings. Thank you so much for this lovely comment. Charlie and I both really appreciate it. Such a nice thing to say. So thank you so much for jumping into our comments. So if you are listening and can't read, I better read it to you. It says, I'm here for the first time. YouTube might have thought it was a great idea for us to connect. Is this a neurodivergent friendly channel? Yes. Your personalities are delightful, and it's nice to meet you. I'm in Missouri. We actually have a lot of friends from Missouri. So blessings on blessings. It's really nice to meet you too. Thank you for your lovely comment. Okay, so two more for you, Charlie. How about this one? Is there a profession other than the one that you have that you would like to attempt? Like any other thing that you maybe think about?
Thinking about, again, I think everything just comes back to art. If I could go back to school and get more of an understanding of graphic design, I would love to be in that field.
Sure.
I think that would be really rewarding. Something that I also wanted to add about the previous question is I think art is also about community and coming together in different ways. And also I see everything as art too. The art of keeping yourself alive is huge. Cooking is an art. Being in community with others is an art. Loving yourself is an art. And so just art is everywhere, and like we are all artists, and that's something that's just helped me kind of humanize that a little bit too.
Thank you for adding that. Like, do people tell you that you are just like a gem?
Thank you.
Like, it's a gem, like I appreciate all of the things that you're saying, and I love your perspective, and like Charlie, you're a gem.
Gosh, thank you.
Pretty outstanding. And I know that the folks listening today have really enjoyed our conversation. So thank you for being so generous with all of that. So maybe graphic art, but then is there one where you're like, no way, there's no way I would ever do that job?
I don't know if I could really handle a 40-hour 9-to-5 desk job, no matter what that ended up looking like.
Sure.
If I had to work 40 hours a week and work a 9-to-5 and be at a desk during that time, and especially if I was working for like a larger corporation, I think I would be really sad.
Right.
The jobs, exactly. The jobs that I do have and the gig work that I do kind of in between that is all very immersive and really lets me express myself creatively, and I couldn't see it any other way.
Right. I've said before too that if all of my things go sideways, I feel like I am relatively unemployable because I've been the boss for so long that I couldn't actually imagine having one. Because I can't imagine that, and I feel so lucky to do this work with my life's partner. And it's just such a great, sometimes when people come to my farm, Charlie, I look at them and I'm just like, I can't believe this is my job. This is my job, that you're coming here and we're going to make art together for 4 days.
Exactly.
And eat really nummy food and be in community. Okay.
Sure. That sounds great.
What an awesome job I have. So yeah, I love that so much. All right. So one more big one for you.
Got it.
So what brings you the most happiness?
I think making art is the big one, and I've just come back time and time again to the community aspect. Thank you so much.
I know, Karen, she's a gem too. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I just keep coming back to this community aspect of art making, and the relationships that I get to have with other artists in these communities it just blows my mind, and I'm so grateful for it. So I volunteer at, I think I brought it up before, the workshop for independent publishing, and it's this community-run space. So we're all volunteers, and we're all kind of teaching each other how to use these different tools and things. And I am just absolutely enamored by, I'm just starting to get into this zine making community. But specifically that community is something that I am so in admiration of. Just these people that are all very passionate about community organizing and mutual aid and joy and silliness, and so community is the massive thing right now.
Well, I think that I think passion is inspiring, and being around people who are passionate ignites joy and happiness in others. I know it sure does in me. And so I agree with you. I think that if I extract my happiest moment inside my life as an artist and a crafter, it's the community and being with my people. I love my people wholeheartedly. And, for folks who get a little, what's that word? Skeptical, maybe, that real formative, nurturing relationships can happen from your online relationships. If they're skeptical about that, I am here to give testimony that my internet friends are my real life friends, and I love them wholeheartedly, and I'm so grateful that they're in my life. And so I would say that brings me quite a lot of happiness. Awesome. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for being here today. I will keep all of my promises. I will help everyone find you later. It'll all be in the show notes. I can't wait to see where you go next and what you do. And so much good luck from all of us. We'll be rooting for you. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Good. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad you were able to join us. And I do hope you will be able to join me next time. Bailey is a mosaic artist, and she is known for custom pet portraits and nature-inspired work. So Bailey will be here with me on the 2nd of July. We are off next week, but we'll be back on July 2nd. So I hope you will be able to join me on the Happy Time Craftcast wherever you get your podcast. So have a great day, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Take care. Thanks again.
Yeah, bye, everybody.